Welcome to Art for Justice in Conversation. I am Mahogany L. Browne, writer and curator. We are a community of artists, advocates, and allied donors disrupting mass incarceration. In this series, I'll interview artists creating a true justice system which keeps families together and treats people with dignity and compassion.
Jane Beachy serves as the artistic director of Illinois Humanities and the project lead of the statewide Envisioning Justice initiative. For the last 7 years, she served as the founder and director of a popular performance series called Salon-a-thon, through which she produced bustling weekly events, as well as ongoing artist residencies, retreats, organizational partnerships, and full theatrical productions.
It's really an honor to do this with you, Mahogany, and you are such an amazing artist and organizer yourself, so what a delight. What's been so exciting since Envisioning Justice began is to kind of apply some of the same curatorial practices and ethoses, I don't know what the plural of that is, to work that really matters and is moving and shaping and changing the world in some deeply necessary ways. We started Envisioning Justice at Illinois Humanities to bring Illinoisans and beyond together in conversation around the local impacts of mass incarceration and to use the arts and humanities to devise strategies to create a truly just society. Last fall, we put together a large-scale exhibition that contained works from commissioned artists, borrowed works, kind of ephemera that came out of our partnering organizations, etc. That exhibition was curated not by me, but by our visual art curators, Alexandria Regbu, Danny Orendorf, and Jameson Page. But we got to work really closely together. Those were a series of workshops led by humanist Christoph Ringer and Toy Robinson. Basically, you can ingest these ideas, you can learn new information. You know, it was a little bit of a discussion-based lecture, so there's back and forth, there's dialogue happening, and then an artist immediately gets you making something about it. In this case, people made their own freedom maps.
I love how my black people say ain't no. The rest of y'all might call that a double negative, a negative statement containing two negative elements. But I recognize that as precisely our station in this world.
The last video from a rapid response series that I was excited to share is this video from Mahogany Deville, who is a rapper, a poet, part of the Growing Concerns Poetry Collective, and he created this piece, which is called Double Negative, in response to the theme reopening. And I love what he does here, that he, you know, he's saying, like, wouldn't this word have been welcome if it was referring to the reopening of any number of resources and services in the community where he grew up. But instead, you know, all 50 Chicago public schools have closed. His beloved roller skating rink has closed. The one thing that has not closed at all during the entirety of this pandemic is the jail at 26th in California. And so I love the way that he responded to and distilled that moment.
Thank you for that. We're in a moment now where artists and advocates are challenging us to imagine alternatives to policing and the entire carceral system. Your exhibition, Envisioning Justice, helped people do this exact imagining. Have you been able to glean what Envisioning Justice has meant to people, like their experience before and after? I know it's still happening, but what's the feedback been from the community?
One is from people who are concerned, are interested, know that mass incarceration doesn't work, but are seeking a lot more education and exposure beyond that. The second thing was then from artists, organizers, humanists, even, you know, legislators and policy people who were coming to the exhibition, who were themselves amazed at the breadth and scope. You usually don't really see like the machinations that get us there, or the strategies, or the visions, or the thinking that gets us there. We've seen literal coalitions form in very concrete, real ways that are going to be actionable moving forward.
I love that you agreed to do this, specifically because I don't know if people understand that curation is also an art form, and we talked about that briefly. Can you talk about what brought you to this kind of justice work, curating these kind of discussions and spaces to unpack?
There's no question that the pandemic has exacerbated every inequity and tension and glaring problem like within our society, and especially for people who are currently incarcerated, for the loved ones of people who are currently incarcerated, for people who are being released. I don't even have to continue. And I definitely don't want to be Pollyanna about this at all, but I think I think the fact that people are isolated who weren't previously, also provides an opportunity, and the uprisings, the movement that is happening so beautifully right now, the two things coupled, provide an opportunity that I don't take lightly, which is, more people are paying attention, and they don't have anywhere to go, so they're really looking, they're really listening.
Thank you. So good. I appreciate you making time.